Hey everybody, Grest here. So this is a video I've been wanting to do for quite some time now. Kind of got put on the back burner, but it's a comparison video of these two guys right here. These are the Generation 1 and Generation 2 1X Prism Cyclops scope with the ACSS reticle from Primary Arms. So let's go ahead and get at it. Alright, so many of you guys have probably remember me mentioning in previous videos that I do have an astigmatism, so regular red dots in my eyes don't really play very well together. So I really enjoy the prism style optics. Now, the Gen 1 Cyclops here on the left hand side from Primary Arms, I never got a chance to actually pick one of these up. This is actually on loan from Sick Nick. He's got a great channel, definitely check him out. I've had this for quite a while, so I need to wrap up this comparison and get it back to him. But this guy here is the Generation 2 Cyclops, and they also call it a micro prism. And you can see just by a side-by-side comparison that there's quite a bit of a difference in size. Of course, both of these do have the ACSS reticle. They're both a red dot. They also offer in a green dot. And you can see the overall design is quite a bit different. You can have different size risers for the Gen 1 as well as the Gen 2. The Gen 2 does come with quite a nice mount here as well as different risers. And they both, of course, come with scope caps, kind of a bikini style on the Gen 2, and then your flip-up ones on the Generation 1. And another notable difference physically between the two is exposed kind of recessed adjustments on the Generation 2, whereas the Generation 1 has these capped turrets right here. So one of the big differences, other than the size, of course, is going to be weight savings. So it's not too different as far as weight. The Generation 1 comes in about 9.7 ounces, whereas the Generation 2 is right at 7 ounces. And another big difference between the two is going to be the 1 MOA per click adjustment on the Generation 2 as opposed to a half MOA adjustment per click on the Generation 1. So there has been talk about maybe changing these to a half MOA per click, and some people have actually complained about that. Myself, I don't really find it an issue because most of these I'm not using for precision work. However, with a magnifier you could use them for a little bit longer distances. So both of these do have adjustable diopters. Okay, and you can see that the overall diameter of the so-called Gen 2 micro prism is a little smaller diameter overall, less bulky. The diopter on the Generation 1 seems to be a little easier to get a hold of than the Gen 2. If you look at the Gen 2, it's kind of small. You don't have a lot of purchase on that thing, but it's kind of one of those things you pretty much set it and forget it in my mind. You also have the ability to add some kill flash attachments on the end of both of these optics. So what's the deal with the ACSS reticle? Well, it's a ranging style reticle, so you can have different holdover points for different distances here. Of course, with a 1X though, this is really small in the reticle. I can see if maybe I can show you on camera. Alright, so both of these are going to have the ACSS reticle with different holdover points there, and they give you a nice manual here that tells you about the different types of calibers and barrel lengths that you might be using with this particular reticle and what type of distance you could zero it in for and then compensate for with different distances. So pretty cool stuff there from Primary Arms. So I believe this guy here came in somewhere right about $200 originally, or maybe a tad over. These guys are coming in about $270-ish, I believe. And honestly, I think on sale you can get these $250, maybe a little less. There's really no reason in my mind to continue to purchase these. These guys here really excel is if you just want a red dot or you want a compact prism scope. They do have a 3X version as well that I have yet to try, unfortunately. So hopefully I'll get my hands on one of those, but I'm really a fan of these Gen 2 micro prism red dots from Primary Arms. So if you haven't checked one of these out yet, I highly recommend it. No affiliation whatsoever with Primary Arms. This is just a product that I think is really, really good and does offer a lot for the money. Primary Arms is, you know, they've been around a long time, and definitely stand by their products. Great warranty. I believe these are also lifetime warranty as well. All right, I appreciate everybody watching today's video on the comparison between the Generation 1 and Gen 2 1X Prism Cyclops scope with the ACSS reticle from Primary Arms. If you got any questions or comments, just put them down below. And as always, I appreciate y'all watching and subscribing, and I'll catch you all in the next video.